At first glance, this looks like the story of a shopping mall, but it's really the story of how Americans shop, how cities grow, how retail real estate is financed, and what happens when the businesses that once held an entire property together begin disappearing. Southern Hills Mall opened in 1980 as Sioux City's new regional shopping destination. It was built during an era when enclosed malls were transforming commerce across the country. For decades, this property helped define where Siouxland shopped, ate, worked, and spent its weekends. Then the retail industry changed. Target moved out, Yonkers disappeared, Sears closed. Online shopping continued growing. Large department store spaces became increasingly difficult to fill, but the mall did not simply shut its doors. JCPenney took over the former Target, Scheels and Barnes & Noble became important destination tenants, the former Sears became family entertainment, the former Yonkers became furniture stores, and today's Southern Hills Mall offers a local example of the question confronting malls throughout America. Can a property originally built around department stores reinvent itself around experiences, services, entertainment, food, furniture, and new kinds of anchors? Today, Jennifer and I are telling the full story of Southern Hills Mall, from its rise as Sioux City's retail giant to what we believe could come next. Thank you for joining us. Let's get this started.
To understand Southern Hills Mall, we have to begin before it existed. For generations, downtown Sioux City was the region's primary shopping district. Department stores, specialty shops, theaters, restaurants, banks, offices, and hotels were concentrated near the urban core. Customers arrived by streetcar, bus, and eventually automobile. But after World War II, American cities began changing. Households purchased more cars. New neighborhoods spread further from downtown. Families wanted larger homes, larger yards, and convenient parking. Retailers wanted larger floor plates and easier truck deliveries. Developers realized they could reproduce many of the advantages of downtown shopping inside a controlled private development. They could combine department stores, specialty retailers, restaurants, climate-controlled security, and thousands of parking spaces in one property. This was the enclosed regional mall. By the 1970s, the concept had become one of the most influential commercial real estate formats in the United States. Southern Hills Mall was developed by General Growth Properties and opened March 5, 1980. Contemporary historical accounts place its construction costs at approximately $21 million. Adjusted only conceptually, not as a precise inflation calculation, that represented a very substantial investment in Sioux City retail. The developers were not simply constructing a building, they were betting that the center of consumer activity would continue moving south and east with new housing, new roads, and changing shopping habits. That bet proved highly consequential.
Southern Hills originally opened with Target and Sears as major anchors, with Yonkers joining later. Today, seeing Target inside an enclosed mall may seem unusual, but the original anchor mix illustrates how different the mall business was. Anchor stores served several functions. First, they attracted customers from a large trade area. Second, they helped lenders believe the project would generate stable traffic. Third, they gave smaller tenants confidence that customers would walk past their storefronts. Fourth, their names became part of the mall's public identity. A mall with Sears, Target, and Yonkers was not simply renting space to 3 stores. Those stores were the economic supports around which the rest of the leasing plan was organized. Historically, large anchors often received favorable rent, ownership rights, approved rights, or restrictive protections because the landlord needed them to make the overall project work. That legacy still complicates mall redevelopment today. Anchor parcels are sometimes separately owned. Old reciprocal easement agreements can control access, parking, construction, permitted uses, signage, and redevelopment. The International Council of Shopping Centers has documented how anchor agreements can delay or block redevelopment even when a mall owner wants to introduce new uses. This is a critical distinction. A mall may appear to be one property. Legally and economically, it may operate more like several properties tied together by decade-old agreements. That means replacing a vacant anchor is not always as simple as finding a new tenant and handing them the keys.
People who grew up with Southern Hills Mall may remember it differently depending on their age. For some, it was where they bought school clothes. For others, it was a place to meet friends, eat at the food court, watch a movie, shop for Christmas, or take children to the carousel. The mall added a carousel in 1990, reinforcing its role as a family and social destination rather than merely a collection of stores. This social function is easy to underestimate when analyzing commercial real estate. A mall creates a privately operated indoor public space. Customers can walk without worrying about weather. Teenagers can meet friends. Families can browse without committing to one purchase. Older adults can walk for exercise. Community organizations can hold events. Seasonal displays create traditions. These uses do not always appear directly on a tenant rent roll, but they help explain why malls became deeply connected to local identity. Southern Hills did not only capture retail sales, it captured time. And time spent on property creates opportunities for multiple tenants to make sales. That is why mall owners study what the retail industry calls dwell time. The longer customers remain, the greater chances they will eat, browse, make an unplanned purchase, or visit another tenant.
The success of Southern Hills eventually encouraged development outside of the mall. This is one of the paradoxes of commercial real estate. A successful retail destination attracts businesses, but some of those businesses eventually prefer freestanding buildings, outdoor centers, easier access, larger stores, or more visible signage. The mall helped establish the shopping pattern, then the surrounding corridor began competing for the same customers. Restaurants opened around the perimeter, freestanding retailers followed. Hotels, banks, services, medical facilities, and power centers expanded the district. Lakeport Commons eventually introduced more than 500,000 square feet of outdoor retail space anchored by large format national tenants. Sunnybrook added another retail, medical, financial, and residential node farther east. Southern Hills Mall therefore helped create a corridor that became larger than the mall itself. That was good for regional traffic, but it also meant shoppers no longer needed to enter the enclosed property to complete every single trip. They could visit Target, Kohl's, Lowe's, Best Buy, a restaurant, a bank, or a medical appointment without walking through the mall. The district grew stronger. The traditional mall model became more challenged. Both things can be true at once.
One of the mall's most important transitions occurred when Target left its original anchor space and relocated to a freestanding Target Greatland store nearby. JCPenney subsequently moved from downtown Sioux City into the former Target space in 2004. Commercially, this tells us several things. First, Target still believed in the Southern Hills trade area. It did not abandon the corridor. It just changed formats. A freestanding building offered Target greater control over its entrance, parking, operating hours, signage, loading, and store design. Second, the old anchor space still had value. JCPenney saw an opportunity to leave downtown and join the established regional shopping destination. Third, the transition reflected the continuing shift of department store retail away from central business district and into suburban commercial corridors. From the mall's perspective, replacing Target with JCPenney's preserved a traditional department store anchor, but the largest lesson is that a retailer can remain committed to a market while deciding that its current real estate no longer fits its operating model. When a major retailer moves, do not automatically assume the market failed. Sometimes the building failed to meet the retailer's evolving needs.
The early 2000s brought an important period of reinvestment. Scheels opened a large sporting goods store, and Barnes & Noble added a prominent bookstore with its own exterior entrance. Contemporary reporting placed Scheels at approximately 59,000 square feet and noted Barnes & Noble's 2004 opening. These were significant additions because neither tenant functioned exactly like a conventional department store. Scheels is a destination retailer. Customers may travel specifically to visit the store. Sporting goods can also be more experimental than many commodity retail categories because customers want to see, compare, fit, and handle products. Barnes & Noble creates a different experience. Customers browse. They spend time in the store. They may purchase coffee. They may attend events. They may visit even without a predetermined product in mind. The retail industry now increasingly describes companies such as Scheels and Barnes & Noble as modern anchors because they generate traffic and customer loyalty, even though they're not traditional department stores. Southern Hills had versions of these new anchors before the phrase became common. That matters when evaluating the property's resilience. The mall did not rely exclusively on apparel department stores. It developed entertainment, books, sporting goods, and restaurants alongside its traditional anchors.
When people ask what happened to Southern Hills Mall, they often focus on the closure of Sears and Yonkers. But those closures were not isolated local events. They were part of a national restructuring of the department store industry. Department stores faced pressure from several directions: discount chains, category-specific big box stores, off-price retailers, changing fashion habits, excessive debt, aging store fleets, online competition, declining mall traffic, operational problems within these chains themselves. Online shopping was important, but it was not the only cause. As of the first quarter of 2026, e-commerce accounted for approximately 16.9% of total U.S. retail sales. This is a major share, and it continues growing, but it also means the majority of retail sales still occur throughout other channels. The more accurate story is not that the internet killed every physical store, it's that weaker retailers, undifferentiated merchandise, excessive square footage, high debt, and changing customer expectations combined to expose businesses that were already vulnerable. Sears is a prime example. Its problems affected malls across the country. Yonkers was part of Bon-Ton Stores, whose liquidation removed department store anchors from many Midwest properties. When those chains failed, local mall owners inherited enormous vacant spaces even when the underlying regional market still supported retail. That is why the phrase retail apocalypse can be misleading. A chain can fail nationally while a particular location remains commercially viable. The challenge is converting those old spaces into something the modern market needs.
2 closures in a short period. Yonkers closed its Southern Hills location in 2018. Sears followed in March 2019 after its location was included in another national round of closures. Losing 2 large anchors in such a short period created a serious challenge. Vacant department stores affect a mall in several ways. They reduce customer traffic, create a perception problem. They can weaken sales for nearby tenants. They may trigger lease rights for smaller tenants, and they impose carrying costs. They leave enormous spaces that few replacement retailers can actually use without major renovations. They can also create confusion about ownership. An anchor building may be separately owned from the mall. That appears to have been relevant to the former Yonkers property, which Furniture Mart USA acquired and renovated independently for its dual furniture concept. This is why large mall vacancies are not comparable to a 2,000 square foot storefront becoming available. A former department store may contain 100,000 square feet or more. It may have 2 floors. It may need new mechanical systems, elevators, escalators, fire protection, entrances, loading, restrooms, and facade work. The redevelopment budget can reach millions before the replacement business opens. The tenant also must be capable of generating enough revenue to justify occupying that amount of space. There are not many users who can.
Here is something many people outside commercial real estate do not realize. A vacant anchor can be worth very little to a traditional buyer and still be extremely valuable to the right user. The value depends on the reuse. A 100,000 square foot building may be extremely overwhelming for a normal retailer, but it will work for some companies. A furniture company, a family entertainment center, a sports facility, self-storage, healthcare, education, municipal uses, a call center, a mixed-use redevelopment, several subdivided tenants. The building is not automatically obsolete. Its original use may be obsolete. That distinction is the entire redevelopment opportunity.
Tilt Studio opened in the former Sears space in July of 2022. The Family Entertainment Center introduced attractions including arcade games, laser tag, mini bowling, backlight miniature golf, bumper cars, party areas, and other activities. Commercially, this is exactly the kind of use malls across the country are pursuing. Customers cannot order laser tag online. They cannot ship a birthday party to their house. Entertainment creates repeat visits. It attracts families. It extends operating activity into evenings and weekends. It can support food sales, and it may bring customers who are not planning to shop at all. The store also demonstrates why vacant mall acres can be attractive to entertainment operators. They do offer the large open floor areas, high customer capacity, existing parking, recognizable locations, climate control, restrooms, multiple entrances, and proximity to food and retail. The potential for ceiling height and specialized attractions. This does not mean every vacant Sears should become an entertainment center, but it does reflect a larger national pattern. Shopping center developers are increasingly backfilling former department store space with experimental retail, sports concepts, fitness, entertainment, food, and other uses that give customers a reason to leave home. Tilt Studio is not a return to the mall's original model, it is evidence of the new model.
The former 2-story Yonkers property was redeveloped for Ashley and Furniture Mart. Furniture is really well suited to certain former anchor buildings for several reasons. It requires large showrooms. Customers are willing to travel for a major purchase. The category benefits from the ability to display full rooms and numerous product options. Large buildings provide storage and loading capacity. Furniture is also less dependent on mall foot traffic than apparel. A customer may drive directly to the furniture entrance, shop for an hour, and leave without walking through the enclosed mall. That is both a strength and a limitation when you think about it. The use activates the real estate. It fills a major vacancy. It preserves employment and tax-generating activity, but it may not generate the same amount of cross-shopping as a traditional department store once did. This is an important point for mall analysis. Not all occupied space creates equal value for every other tenant. Occupancy matters. Traffic patterns matter more.
Southern Hills has experienced major anchor losses and changes. It also continues operating with JCPenney, Shields, Barnes & Noble, ANC, Tilt Studio, Ashley Furniture Mart, National Apparel Tenants, restaurants, services, and specialty retailers listed in its current directory. The better questions are, how much customer traffic does the property generate? Which portions are productive? Which spaces remain difficult to lease? How strong are the tenants? How much capital does the property require? Are the anchors connected to the interior mall? Can the site support new uses? Is the ownership capable of executing a long-term plan? Does the surrounding trade area remain strong? A mall can be alive but underperforming. It can be occupied but financially stressed. It can contain successful anchors and weak inline space. It can be culturally important but physically outdated. It can also appear quiet during one visit and become busy during the weekends or holidays. Real estate is rarely captured accurately by one label.
Southern Hills Mall is currently listed within the portfolio of Cohen Retail Investment Group, and the mall website's terms identify Cohen as the site owner. Ownership matters because mall redevelopment requires more than a good idea. It requires excessive capital, leasing relationships, property management, roof and mechanical maintenance, parking lot investment, tenant coordination, government approvals, construction expertise, marketing, lots of patience. The high-value redevelopment concept on paper accomplishes nothing without execution. Mall sites are very complicated. The owner may need to coordinate with separately owned anchors, like we mentioned before. Existing agreements may only restrict new construction. Utilities may require significant upgrades. Demolition can also be very expensive. New streets, entrances, drainages, or parking configurations may be needed. Residential or medical uses may require zoning changes. Financing may depend on pre-leasing or public participation. Therefore, our future scenarios are not predictors that a specific project has been announced. They are professional analysis of what the site could support if ownership, market demands, legal rights, infrastructure, and capital align. That distinction is essential.
What could Southern Hills Mall become? Scenario 1, continue the incremental reuse strategy. The first possibility is continued incremental reuse. Under this approach, the main mall remains largely intact. Vacancies are filled gradually with your entertainment, your specialty retail, furniture, fitness, restaurants, of course, medical services, personal services, local businesses, seasonal and event uses, and this is the least disruptive scenario. It preserves the existing structure and spreads investment over time. The challenge is whether individual tenant additions generate enough traffic to improve the entire property rather than only their own spaces. Scenario 2, more exterior-facing tenants. A second strategy would create more direct exterior entrances. Many modern tenants prefer customers to enter directly from the parking lot. This can make an enclosed mall function more like an open-air center while retaining parts of the interior common area. Former inline spaces could be combined. Facades could be modernized. Restaurants and service businesses could gain independent hours and signage. This approach may increase leasing flexibility without requiring full demolition.
Scenario 3, mixed-use redevelopment. A third possibility is a more ambitious mixed-use plan. Nationally, mall owners have introduced apartments, hotels, medical offices, senior housing, grocery stores, entertainment, parks, green space, streets, restaurants, community facilities. ICSC has documented redevelopment strategies that replace portions of enclosed malls with streets, housing, open-air retail, restaurants, and community-oriented uses. Southern Hills has attributes that could make mixed use worth studying. A large site, established utilities, regional recognition, extensive parking, proximity to retail and restaurants, access to major roads, a growing broader corridor, nearby healthcare and housing demand, but a mixed-use redevelopment would require detailed analysis of land ownership, easements, zoning, infrastructure, market, demand, financing, and construction costs. It would not be simple. Scenario 4, partial demolition and a new street grid. A more transformative concept would demolish selected portions of the enclosed mall while preserving productive anchors. New public or private streets could divide the site into smaller blocks. That could create freestanding retail, restaurant pads, apartments, medical buildings, green space, hotels, entertainment, new parking, This type of redevelopment can make land more flexible and valuable. It can also reconnect a large inward-facing property with the surrounding city, but it is the most capital-intensive and legally complicated scenario.
Suppose a business wants to reuse 75,000 square feet of former department store space. Even if the purchase price or rent appears inexpensive, the project could require roof work, HVAC replacement, electrical upgrades, of course, fire suppression, elevators or escalators, new entrances, loading improvements, restrooms. You've got your flooring and your lighting, interior demo, exterior facade work, parking repairs, signage, architectural and engineering fees, and code compliance. At only $40 a square foot of improvement, 75,000 square feet would require $3 million. At $100 per square foot, the investment would reach $7.5 million. Specialized medical, entertainment, or residential conversions could cost considerably more. That is why former acres can remain vacant even when the rent looks low. The building may be inexpensive, the project is not. The biggest mistake people make when discussing malls is assuming the only two outcomes are either successful traditional mall or total demolition. There's an enormous range between those outcomes. A mall can evolve gradually. One anchor can become entertainment, another can become furniture. Interior stores can remain. Restaurants can receive exterior entrances. Medical offices can occupy former retail. Residential buildings can be added to excess parking areas. Some wings can be preserved while others are redeveloped. The future does not have to look like either 1995 or an empty field.
Here is what we believe is most likely over the next decade. Southern Hills Mall will probably remain as an important commercial property, but its success will become less dependent on traditional enclosed mall shopping. The strongest tenants will be those that give customers a specific reason to visit. Shields, entertainment, furniture, books, movies, restaurants, specialty retail, personal services, events, potential healthcare or fitness uses. We expect continued pressure on undifferentiated inline retail. We expect more emphasis on exterior access. We expect the parking fields and underused portions of the site to receive increasing redevelopment attention. We would not be surprised to see the proposals involving housing, healthcare, and restaurants, or entertainment or partial mixed use. But the pace will depend on ownership, capital, tenant demand, legal agreements, and local development economics. The mall does not need to become what it was in 1990. It needs to become useful for the Siouxland market today and into the future. Southern Hills Mall changed Sioux City. It helped shift shopping south. It attracted regional customers. It created family traditions. It influenced where retailers, restaurants, and developers invested. Then the same corridor it helped create began offering customers more choices outside of the mall. The property lost traditional anchors, but those spaces did not remain permanently empty. Sears became Tilt Studio, Yonkers became Ashley and Furniture Mart, Target became JCPenney's. Scheels and Barnes & Noble became modern destination anchors. That is why this is not simply a story about decline, it is a story about adaptation. The question is not whether Southern Hills Mall can return to its past. The real question is whether the property can continue turning yesterday's retail space into tomorrow's useful real estate. The story is still being written. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you can see the rest of our videos about Siouxland.